you can achieve this. Today's video is a tattoo artist breakdown. Now, if you are new around here and you do not know what tattoo artist breakdown is, it is when we take some of the world's best leading tattoo artists, have a look at their work on the surface, and see if we can have a deep dive into how they have achieved the look and the tattoos that they have done. As always, I do not know these artists. I have never spoken to these artists. Actually, I tell a lie on that one.
Shit, boy.
Because I have spoken to this artist, and I do have some insight into how they do what they do. The artist we are breaking down is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Ralf Nonnweiler. Now, for this breakdown, like I said, I have actually had opportunities to speak to Ralf, so I do know a little bit when it comes to breaking down the way that he works. Obviously, Ralf might have changed the way that he works since I spoke to him. It was a few years ago now, but I do still study Ralf's work because for me, he is the absolute pinnacle when it comes to tattoo artists and what can be done on skin. So, getting straight in, here is the first one. Just look at it. Like, it's just incredible. So, let's stop creaming over it. Let's break it down. Now, firstly, that hair, the face, the nose, everything about this like portrait screams mag. That is it. It is so soft. So it screams mag to me. You could probably make an argument that there is round shader involved around the eyes, in the nose, you know, the nostrils of the nose, and in the, you know, teeth and gums area and the lips and stuff. So you could make an argument for round shader, but for me, instantly looking at this, it's that soft. It screams mostly mag. The hair, it's almost like you can see every individual strand of hair in there, but it's just an illusion. And what Ralf's done here is incredible. It's just incredible. Saturation, as you can see, Ralf completely saturates his portraits or his work. Now you can see on the left side of the cheek that highlight right there, but the rest of this is still all saturated with an incredibly light tone. Now, who would we be if we didn't break down the king of textures texture? Check this out. Look at this Frank Einstein. It's just an incredible portrait again, but let's break down the texture, especially in that tash area and around those eyes. For me, this is what Ralf is known for. Yes, he is an incredible tattoo artist. He does some amazing portraits, but when I think of Ralf Nonnweiler, I think of texture and the incredible amount of detail he puts into his portraits. So let's start with the eyes on this Frank Einstein. Look at the wrinkles. Like, all this screams to me round shader. Now, I know that Ralf does use round shaders quite a lot. If you go on his Instagram, you can see him using round shaders when he uploads. From what I can gather, all the wrinkles that he does, he puts in with a round shader, and then when he needs to, he blends off that round shader with a mag to get a nice feather off that wrinkle, so the wrinkle isn't as harsh as what it may first appear. And I honestly think that's what he's done around the eyes, especially to get the deepness and the roundness of the wrinkles as it comes out. So for me, and knowing what Ralf uses, I know that that is pretty much probably a round shader. There's definitely a good chance of it anyway. Coming down on to the cheek area, you can see the direction of the wrinkles going down. Again, round shader, potentially a smaller round shader, maybe a tight 5 or a tight 7 round shader. However, you could probably make an argument for a tight 9 round shader, maybe a bug pin 9 round shader. You can see the wrinkles and the direction coming downwards over the cheek, but it's just so subtle, but it's still enough to be able to see and realize what is going on. Now coming down to the fold of the cheek, you can see again, this is potentially mag. I reckon this area could be mag, and then is just gone in with again a tight round shader or a liner just to texture these little bits in here, and then again he's used the mag to, you know, blend off to give the roundness of that cheek. Coming down into the tash, just, I mean, my god, like you can see just about every single strand of hair on top and below with the way that Ralf has done this tash. I honestly believe that this is round shader, a nice tight round shader to get the details in there that he's got. It's too soft for me to be a liner. Coming down into the chin area, like you can see skin like pores that he's put in there. Like, he does not skimp on detail. Ralf does not skimp on detail whatsoever. This is why to me he's just the master of it. Whatever he can see on that photo, he puts in there. But looking at the texture in this chin, the skin pores, the indentations in the chin, the wrinkles again up next to the bottom lip, everything is just in there, man. Now comparing the Frankenstein and the kid portrait, you can see that there is very little line work in these portraits, and the reason I know that is because the portraits themselves are just super soft. Everything that Ralf does is super soft. As a realism artist, I potentially think that he could introduce a free liner in there somewhere. However, it is just so soft that it screams, again, round shaders and mags rather than any liners. Now moving on to this incredible dog portrait. Oh my god, everything is pretty much mag work on this. I'm going to say everything is pretty much mag work on side. Now what I do know about Ralf is he does his portraits incredibly small. Not super small, but probably A5 size. And he puts a good 10 hours into these things. And that really shows on this dog portrait right here. Now for the texture on this one, you can see, again, as always, a recurrent theme of direction when it comes to all these breakdowns that I'm doing. And you can see every single bit of direction in this dog portrait, starting from the bottom, coming up, starting to curling round this way. You can see the softness and the difference in hair from the bottom down here, the top up here, and this bit right here. You can see the softness so much in this bit and the difference. But then you've got direction coming this way, going around this way, coming around this way, going up this way, coming up this way, coming down this way. Like, the direction is clean. And if there's one thing that I could tell you about dog portraits or animal portraits, direction is one of the biggest things to get right. Now, like I said, you could make an argument that this is majority mag work. I would say it's probably gonna be something like between a 13 and a 17 mag, and then maybe a combination of a 7 mag in there also for the shorter fur on the top of the nose. I would be hard pressed to say that there's round shader involved in the hair because of the look that is on there. To me, it definitely looks more like mag on side job rather than round shader job. But again, going back to like the differentiation in hair, going from like the harshness or the sharpness of, you know, the top of the dog and the bottom of the dog, to getting the softness in this bit here, and then also this bit here. Like, those are the little nuances that are going to take your portraits to the next level. You don't want to be looking at a portrait and, you know, only studying one area and then thinking that that one area runs throughout the entire piece, because it doesn't. You've got to really break down these little nuances in your portraits, like Ralf has done here. All these little things put together that will take your work to the next level. Now, looking closer into the dog's nose, you can see the little indentations and pores and texture in the top of the nose. If there's been a round shader used anywhere, it's gonna be in that area. Potentially this area here, just above the nose, and then yeah, probably in the eyes as well, like to get this line coming down here. Might have used a liner. It is very, very sharp in the corner of the dog's eye, so he might have used a liner for that bit, or a tight round shader. But I think he's definitely used round shaders in the eyes. Saturation plays a massive part in Ralf's work. No matter what he is doing, he is completely saturating. Even those lighter areas, he is completely saturating with the lightest of light tones. If there is any harsh highlights, he is leaving them, but he's using that light tone to blend up to those harsh highlights to give the look that he's getting. Or so, I think. But let's just take some time to appreciate the level of skill involved to achieve this kind of portrait. This is Ralf Nonnweiler. This screams Ralf Nonnweiler. If I did not know the artist, I would only need to look at this tattoo to be able to tell you that this one is a Ralf Nonnweiler tattoo. But again, that goes through his entire body of work. You can always tell when you are looking at a Ralf Nonnweiler piece. Now on to the next tattoo is this one right here. Now I don't know if this is like some celebrity or some movie that I've not seen or anything, but so I think it's pretty obvious right now the recurring theme we've got going on throughout Ralf's tattoos: textures, round shaders, mags, saturation, very little lines. This one on that right hand side of that cheek is textured up to the max. Combination of, again, getting in those textures, layering over with a mag, and also, you know, coming off the textures that you've put in to get any roundness or any deepness in the wrinkles. Now briefly, let's just have a look down Ralf's feed to see if you can notice one of the standout things that Ralf always does. So coming down, keep coming down, keep coming down. Have you noticed it yet? Have you noticed it yet? It's all over the place. Okay, so if you didn't notice it, what Ralf loves to do is he loves to have a clean ass nose. Looking at this one back here, you can see the darkness down the inside of that nose that brings that nose out and makes it pop off. Again, on this one, the Frankenstein, like there's just a darkness and shadows that goes around the nose. He's always making those noses pop off that skin. Going to this one, again, darkness in that nose. Ralf loves his noses and it's one of the standout things that I see in Ralf's portraits. So other than the round shaders and the mags, what else are we noticing from Ralf's work? Well, that is the use of black. Check out the amount of black that Ralf does put in his work, whether it be on the actual tattoo or whether that be in background, just to add that contrast. But Ralf is always adding a ton of black to his portraits. You can see the amount of black that he puts into his tattoos. Ralf's understanding of black and what works on skin and what doesn't work on skin is incredible. And if you are wondering, will these details still be there on the heel or in 5 years' time? I have seen Ralf's healed work and I can confirm that yes, it will. So guys, that is Ralf Nonnweiler. To sum up this video, Ralf loves to use round shaders. He uses very little lines. The round shaders he uses is probably a variety of round shaders. What he likes to do is he puts his wrinkles in and then he blends off that wrinkles to give that deepness, to give that depth. And then he also saturates his entire pieces. He uses mags quite a lot on fur and very little round shader on fur from what I can gather. And he uses a ton of black. So if you are still going too light in your pieces, take Ralf as an example to what you should be doing when it comes to the amount of black that you are applying in your pieces. But he is just the absolute king of detail. He's the absolute king of texture, and he is, for me, one of the greatest tattoo artists to ever pick up a machine. But guys, if you have enjoyed this video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to turn on the bell notifications, all of them, to get notified every time I upload a new video or post on the community section. If you want any added benefits, you can join my Patreon, link in the description. Also, if you would like any one-on-one seminars, there is an email in the description. Drop me an email, we'll get that sorted. But guys, I shall see you all in the next video, which is potentially going to be in the new year because I may take some time off. Have a good Christmas, have a happy new year, stay safe, and I'll see you all next year. Peace and love. I'm out.